Postgame Ty was talking about the running game and saying that there's some mental aspects that he thinks are getting in the way of success at times. How do you think the mental game is affecting the running game at this point?
I don't think it's a mental thing. I think there's some physical things that the guys know we got to do a little bit better, and I know they're going to battle to make those things right. So I don't think it's a mental issue. I don't think there was a bunch of missed assignments or some guys getting beat at the point of attack at times, and we got to improve that, and they will.
Jump to the far left, Chase.
I want to ask you about Ty's role on the double pass from Jeremy to Lotzer Brooks. I realize sending him on a pass route helps keep traffic off of Brooks, but was any concern on your part that the quarterback running through the middle of the secondary with his hand up might expose him to an unnecessary shot or anything?
No, not any more than dropping back and getting hit. So, no, Ty's pretty athletic. He knows to keep his head on a swivel.
Jump to the far right. Let's go to Charlie.
When you're watching that Oklahoma defense, what kind of jumps out to you immediately on film?
Very multiple. They do a great job. Coach Venables has obviously been around a long time, knows how to do it. Is a guy that's going to look to attack your weaknesses, and he's got a very specific game plan for each offense. I think that's what makes him somewhat unique, is that how he attacks Ole Miss isn't necessarily how he attacks Texas and so on and so forth. So I think, the multiple looks up front, they got a lot of defensive looks as far as the secondary and how they match their fronts. They do a really good job mixing that up, utilizing their personnel in different ways. They got a big kid, number 5, who is kind of like the Simmons kid they had at Clemson. They move him all over the field, and he's super athletic. So, yeah, they create different pictures for you, which as an offensive guy, I can really look at and appreciate. So he's going to make you earn it.
Let's jump to second row to the left to Will.
Coach, what are some of the strides and steps you want to see your offense take in the downfield passing game?
Obviously, the low-hanging fruit there is complete the big open ones, right? And those are things I think there's a little bit of carryover there from the weeks previously, just getting the ball out earlier and on time and making sure that we give our guys a chance to the football down the field. So obviously we had a couple that didn't hit there that would have been big plays that we had guys open on. I think some of those things you can overthink at times, where we've seen those guys make those plays a million times out on the practice field. So just getting to a situation where we feel better about when that ball is coming out, staying on time with our footwork's matching the throw, and just staying confident in that process.
To the front row, Colin.
What attributes or characteristics would you define to a good run blocking offensive line, and do you see that in your current offensive line?
Yeah, I see it. They're there. A big part is being able to handle movement, and then just having bent knees, low angles, tight hands, and tight feet. And sometimes I think right now we're playing with our feet a little bit long on our second step, all the little details that you got to be better at. And then some of our double teams have lacked coming together, and it's all the things we got to keep working on. So the guys know what it is. I believe in them. I know that they're going to be able to get it done, and we just got to stick to the process. Right now, if we continue to just what I told the guys was, if we're only focused on the outcome right now, I think that's part of the problem. Is there's too much noise going on where they're listening to the narrative of we can't do this, we can't do that. We got to focus on what we can do, and there's some things we're really good at, and it does not showing up right now, but it will. And we got good players that are committed to the process, and we're lucky to have them.
Go to Joe, middle left.
Coach, a couple weeks ago, Lane Kiffin suggested that Oklahoma might be good at stealing signs or gathering information. Is that something that you guys have talked about this week, and will y'all maybe change signs up, or maybe approach the offensive play calling a little differently, the process of the offensive play calling a little differently?
For sure, on all fronts. They're good at that, number one, and number two, we'll be changing everything. So if Coach Venables listening, just know they're all changing. But they do everything within the parameters of the game, though, and they're nothing illegal about what they do. They're good at what they do, so certainly have to take that into consideration.
Right next to him there. Ian, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, do you think there's any correlation between some of the struggles running the ball and some of the struggles in the deep passing game? Do you think you need one to open up the other? Do you think there's even any relationship there?
Always. It's not a maybe thing. Obviously, consistency in the run game is going to allocate more people to the box and open up the throws down the field. I think as far as opportunities, for not having a ton of success running the football on Saturday. I thought we had really good opportunities to get the big shots down the field, and it didn't feel like it after the game, but I think 4 of our top 12 explosive plays on the season happened on Saturday night. So we had some big hits, but that's how you got to keep people out of those types, heavy boxes, a lot of people in there trying to make it hard on you, blitzing, things like that. You got to make them pay. And we did, we just didn't enough. And we had probably 3 other hits that would have been, 40-plus yard completions. Those are the ones that eventually when you hit 50-yard touchdowns and things like that, they will stop doing it. So it's our job to make sure that they stop doing it.
All right, let's finish up with Katie, right on the left.
Oklahoma leads the country in tackles for loss. I think it's top 5 in sacks. So just kind of what's the message to the offensive line this week about, holding strong along the line of scrimmage?
Yeah, I think I know our communication has to be elite. That's the one thing that, we probably don't talk about enough. Like characteristics of good offensive linemen, all the things that, physically you want to have. But the number one thing is communication. And you have problems in the interior gaps and you don't take care of the interior gaps, whether it's pass protection or run blocking, those problems happen quick. And when we have problems on the inside, that's where the TFLs and the sacks come from. Quarterback's eyes will drop from pressure and people being in his face when it's in between the tackles. If stuff happens outside the edge, typically you can deal with that. But interior issues are where you get behind the chains, whether it's a 4-yard loss on an inside zone run or, it's a sack, a guy stepping right up the B gap. Those are where all your problems happen. And to me, our guys just we got to have a great week of communicating at the line of scrimmage. And that's the thing, really challenge the guys with, because they'll go after this and they're going to be excited about the process with Parker. And, everybody just listening to Parker and what he says is what we're doing and stick together with one count. Because if you're going to be wrong together. It's going to make sure that as simple as it sounds, if you're wrong together, the problem will be on the outside, not on the inside. If we're all moving the same direction. So we can't have half the line doing one thing, the other half the line doing the other part. And if you stick to that, you'll always have a chance, whether you're protecting Ty or running the football. So we got to do a great job of that this week, and certainly Oklahoma will challenge us on that.
All right, thank you, Coach.
Yep, thank you.